Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Assalamu alaikum. My dear students, welcome to your 10th class for your reading and your interaction textbook. Hopefully that you have got the main ideas of our last class. I want you to focus on the skills of how to skim, how to use a skim to identify the topic and the main topic. Also, I want you to focus on your vocabulary section, because you will be having questions about the vocabulary in your final exam. Also, you'll be having questions like a passage, and for example, each passage has a group of questions asking you about to what this pronoun refers to, and what does the meaning of this word in one passage. By the way, for your passages, some of them are going to be seen and others are going to be unseen in your final test. So please try to focus, try to read, try to study hard day by day, try to memorize the vocabularies, try to know how to use them, and hopefully you will get a very good score at the end. For today's class, we will also preview some of the vocabularies. As you can see in reading class, you're having actually a huge number of vocabularies, new vocabularies. The more vocabularies you have, the more actually structure, the better speaker you're going to be. So once you read, you will have vocabularies, new vocabularies. Your job is to memorize them. Your job is to know how to use them. Okay? Because in the final test, you will be having questions like our questions in the recorded classes. In every recorded classes, we have different kind of exercises. We have exercises related to the vocabulary. We have exercises related or asking you about the different passages you read. And I want you to understand these exercises, because the final test will be similar to them. Not exactly the same like them, but similar. So let us today preview some of the new vocabularies. Again, we have scanning and skimming. We'll be having a different kind of reading passage, and we will talk also about parts of a speech. Okay, so hopefully you are going to enjoy our discussion today. Let us start now with the group of the vocabularies we have right here. The first one is a new word, gestures. Gestures, it means hints. Okay, gestures like body gestures. Gestures is a noun. This is one part of the speeches. To pick up. Pick up means to choose, to select, or to carry sometimes. And this is a phrasal noun. Why it's a phrasal noun? Because it consists of phrasal verbs, because it consists of a verb and a preposition. Phrase معناتها. What does a phrase mean? A phrase means a group of words. A group of words. Pick up is a phrasal verb. It means to choose or select or carry. Creatures is a noun. Creatures mean living things like animals and plants. مخلوقات. Echo. Echo ممكن تكون verb وممكن تكون noun. Echo معناته a repeated or sent back sound. Claim. Claim also is a verb or noun. Claim means to demand, to advocate. Species, also noun, similar kinds or sorts. Species means similar kinds. أنواع متشابهة. Coin This is also noun. A metal piece of money. Acquire, it means, this is a verb. Acquire, it means to get or to obtain or to win. يكتسب. Shed light on is a phrasal verb. Again, what does a phrasal verb mean? A phrasal verb is a verb, ماشي, consists of more than 3 words. Shed light on. هذا بنسميه phrase. A phrase consists of more than 1 word. Upright, this is an adjective, and it means honest, responsible, straight, back. هذا معناها upright. Focus means central point or to concentrate, يركز. Capacity, noun, what a container can hold. سعة. Respond, to reply, to respond back, to respond to emails, to reply, to answer. Realize means to understand. 15. Head of something. This is an expression, مصطلح, means head of something. It means the main point, the center. To return is also a verb, to return something back, to give them back, or it means to come back. So all of these are very important vocabulary. You can find these vocabularies in page 143, 148, 158, and 167. Let us do the following exercises to practice the previous vocabularies. Please let us read together the following questions and try to answer them. And you should try to get the answer before I answer it. That is to test your understanding. Try your best to guess the meaning of each word without listening to me sometimes. The word is the closest in meaning to the word tense. We said gestures is the closest in meaning to the word hence. Our doctor always on the meanings of a new words in English. Relaxes, sheds lights, type or types. Types or type. Our doctor or always shed lights. يركز, focus, highlight on the meanings of a new word in English. And this is my advice for you. You need to understand the meanings of new words in English without using Arabic, because you're an English student. Okay? The phrasal verb is the closest in meaning to the word return. شو معنى return? Pick back, look forward to, give back, interest in. It is give back. Pick up is incorrect, معناتها to select. Look forward to, like you're eager to meet someone. Okay? I called him by phone so many times, but he didn't respond, ask, sleep, and eat. I called him by phone so many times, but he didn't respond. He didn't respond. The word is the closest in meaning to the verb get or obtain. Obtain means to reduce, to widen, require, acquire. The answer is acquire. The word acquire is the closest in meaning to the verb get or obtain. Reduce means makes less, widen to means bigger, require it means need. لكن acquire معناتها get or obtain. All students should, that English is very important. Should realize, test, work, go. The answer is all students should realize that English language is very important. The word honest or responsible is the closest in meaning to the word criminal, upright, lazy, clever. The answer is upright. Criminal معناتها مجرم, lazy كسول, clever ذكي, upright it means honest or responsible. The phrase a metal piece of money is a close in meaning to the word coin, banknote, paper, invoice. The answer is coin. So by here we have covered the first section of our lecture today, and that was vocabulary previewing. Let us now talk about the parts of speech, and you should understand that we have different kinds and different parts of speeches. Actually, you know many of them, or maybe most of them, but some of you may have not, let's say, studied some other parts of speeches. So let us now move together and try to have some simple rules. The first one, every simple sentence must contain at least two or some or all of the following part of the speech. Okay, this is a very important one. You have to pay attention to it. An article, a, an, or the. A noun, مثل singular, plural, subject noun, object noun. أخذنا احنا singular noun مثل boy, plural noun مثل boys. A pronoun, الضمير, I, he, she, they, us, me, etc. An adjective, easy, important, high, beautiful, smarter. And also an adverb, like quickly, easily, fast, fluently, and so on. A main verb, like present, past, or future. An auxiliary, verbs to be, verbs to have, and models. A preposition, حروف الجر, مثل on, in, at, by, with, for, whatever. And we have something called the interjection, and we will talk about the interjection and conjunction maybe later on. Okay, so every simple sentence in English must contain at least two or some of all of the following parts of a speech. All of these are called parts of a speech, أجزاء الكلام. Let us do the following exercise. Circle the most suitable answer, A, B, C, D, for each of the following. The final test will be similar to the question in the lecture exercises. So I want you to remind you again that the final test, your final test, will be similar to the questions in the lectures, in the lecture exercises. So try to understand and answer these questions. Try to understand them. Okay? The part of a speech final is a verb, an adverb, a noun, or an adjective. It is an adjective. هي صفة. The part of a speech questions is a verb, noun, adverb, or adjective. This is a noun, أسئلة. The part of a speech will is a main verb, model, verb to be, preposition. It's called model. The part of a speech in is a verb, a preposition, a noun, an adjective. It's called a preposition. A preposition means حرف جر. Let us also do the following sentences. The doctor gave us the last homework last week. The part of the speech us is us here possessive, an adjective, subject, or reflexive. It is give us, an object pronoun. The part of speech of give is a present verb, an auxiliary, future verb, past verb. It is past verb. Gave هي ماضي وماضي من give. us هي تأتي فقط في موقع الأوبجكت المفعول به، لكن إذا كان السبجكت لازم تكون we. أعتقد these are very basics for you. I guess you understand these things because you have already taken courses talking about the pronouns. So it's very easy for you to classify these words. Okay? So you understand what a possessive, a subject or object or reflexive pronoun means. The part of a speech last is an adjective, article, a verb to be, preposition. هل هو صفة أم article أم فعل to be أم حرف جر؟ Last. Last is actually an adjective. Like the last day we have on the last class. The doctor gave us the first homework last week. Last هنا صفة, adjective. week هنا noun. لاحظوا us جاءت بعد فعل، واللي بيجي بعد الفعل لازم يكون object، فلذلك وضعنا object. past هو الفعل لكن شكله هو الماضي، والمضارع من give gave اللي هي give، فلذلك اخترنا past verb مش present ولا future ولا an auxiliary. So was that clear? Last هي adjective describe the noun. حكينا إنه adjective always describes nouns. The last one, the part of speech of doctor is a verb, subject noun, object noun, and adjective. أول شيء doctor is not a verb وهي is not a صفة. The doctor is object noun ولا subject noun. حكينا الأوبجكت noun دائما يأتي بعد الفعل after verb، لكن السبجكت noun يأتي comes before verbs. فهي شو لازم تكون إذن؟ هتكون subject pronoun، subject noun عفوا subject noun. لاحظنا إنه us هي كانت object noun because it comes after the verb gave. Hopefully this point is clear, and I guess that you as the students at this level you can differentiate between the between the subject and object nouns. Okay, let us read now together the following passages and let us try to answer the questions. First of all, A. What is the topic of part A, of paragraph A? The enormous and fascinating variety of clothing may express person's status or social position. Several hundred years ago in Europe, Japan, and China, there were many highly detailed computer laws that is strict regulating concerning how each social class could dress. Okay, so there were enormous and fascinating variety of clothing may express a person's status or social position. So the topic of paragraph A, military, about the laws, uniforms or status, we're talking about uniforms. لأن هو حكى شو يعني اليونيفورمز؟ clothing. هو بيحكي إنه اليونيفورمز express one status or social position in some societies. So we found the answer for number 1. What details about the topic does the paragraph provide? Okay, let us now read the whole paragraph. So, in Europe, for example, only royal families could wear fur, purple silk, or gold cloth. In Japan, a farmer could breed silkworms, but he couldn't wear silk. In many societies, a lack of clothing indicated an absence of status. In ancient Egypt, for instance, children who had no social status wore no clothes until they were about 12. These days in most societies, especially in the West, rank or status is exhibited through regulation of dress only in the military, where the appearance or absence of certain metal buttons or stars signifies the dividing line between ranks. With the exception of the military, the divisions between different classes of a society are becoming less clear. The clientele of Paris Cafe, for example, might include both working class people and members of the highest society. But how can one tell the difference when everyone is wearing denim jeans? So what details about the topic does this paragraph provide? First one, strict laws in some countries used to regulate what people of each social class would wear. Rich people wear more beautiful clothing than poor people do. In many societies, the absence of clothing indicating the absence of status. Today, the divisions between social classes are becoming less clear from the clothing that people wear. Okay, so the divisions between social classes are becoming less clear from the clothing that people wear. That was the main topic of this paragraph. You may have different topics, you may choose one of them, but this is one of the main topics or the main ideas in this paragraph. You can do the rest by yourself. Number 3, what do the answer to numbers 1 and 2 have in common? That is, what is the main idea of paragraph A? الآن نطلع على question number 1 and number 2. Do we have common answers? Do we have common shares? هل في هناك شيء متفقين عليه الإجابة الأولى والثانية? Today the difference between various social classes can be seen only in military uniforms, laws used to regulate how people could dress. Clothing or its absence has usually indicated the status or rank, but this is less true in today's work. D, clothing has been worn for different reasons since the beginning of history. I guess the answer number C is the correct one. It talks about the clothing, the uniforms, and then it talks about absence, indicates status, and but now it's less true. Okay, but now is this true? So, and this is also mentioned here, that divisions between social classes are not seen from the clothings they wear on. So that was a very interesting passage about fashion, the art of the body. I want you to read it again and try to understand the new meanings the new word's meanings. What is the topic of paragraph B? Let us read. 3 common types of body decorations are mehendi or henna, tattooing and scarification. Mehendi and henna is the art of applying dye, اللي هو الحنة, usually dark orange or darker brown, to the skin of women in India, Islamic cultures and Africa. The dye comes from the henna plant and is applied in a beautiful design that varies from culture to culture. Fine. Thin lines in India and large flower patterns in the Arab world. So in India we have thin lines, and in the Arab world we have flower patterns. Okay. A tattoo is also a design or mark made with a kind of dye, usually dark blue. However, unlike henna, it is put into a cut in the skin, like you can see in the modern tattooing. In this picture right here, it's called tattoo. Okay, so in a scarification found mainly in Africa, dirt or ashes are put into the cuts instead of dye. The result is a design that is unique to the person's tribe. 3 lines on each side of man's face identify him as a member of the Yoruba tribe of Nigeria, for example. A complex geometric design on a woman's back identifies her as a Nuba from Sudan and also makes her more beautiful in the eyes of her people. In the 1990s, tattooing became popular among youth in urban Western societies. Unlike people in tribal cultures, these young people had no traditions of tattooing, except among sailors and criminals to these young people. The tattoos were beautiful and were sometimes also a sign of rebellion against older or more conservative people in the culture. These days, tattooing has become common and is usually not symbolic of rebellion. Okay, this is the question now. What is the topic of paragraph B? The Yoruba people, geometric designs, dirt and ashes, body decoration. Well, you can get the topic from here. It talks about body decorations. So the answer is D. What details about the topic does the paragraph provide? Mehendi or henna tattooing, scarifications are types of body decorations. B. Tattoos and scarification indicates person, tribe, or social group, although youth in Western society sometimes use tattoos as form of rebellion. Scarification is very painful and is symbolic of strength. Designs on person's face or body are considered beautiful. So basically it talks about A and B. Which idea below includes the details? Because here it talks about mehendi and henna, right? And this is here mentioning. And then it talks about the tattoo, which is mentioned somewhere about the I guess it's something like here, tattooing become familiar, right? Tattooing become familiar in the Western and popular in the Western societies. Which idea below includes all the details that you have chosen number 2? In other words, what is the main idea of the paragraph? Everyone who wants to be beautiful should get a tattoo. People decorate their bodies for the purpose of identification, beauty, and sometimes rebellion. So we have B. Mehendi or henna and tattoos are designs made by putting dye on or in skins. And men more often decorate their faces, women decorate their backs. So these are B and C are the main idea. So this is the main idea. I guess it's B, the correct answer. It's more correct than this one. Okay, just forget it. So here is asking you only to choose one idea. Okay, so B is the right answer. I will leave C for you. Please do it at home. by yourself. Try to read it and then answer this one, and this one. Also, I will leave D. Try to read it and try to answer what is the topic of the paragraph, what details about the topic does the paragraph provide you with. And number 3, also I will leave E for you to read something about body paints. So this is kind of a continuation to our passage. Okay, so you have E, D, and C to do it by yourself. I have done A and B, so you can do C, D, and E by yourself. You can read as fast as you can and then answer the questions. You usually find the topic of each paragraph at the first line of each paragraph. Okay? The rest of each paragraph is the details. The same here. You can find the topic of the paragraph in the first line and the rest is details. And here you can find the topic of the paragraph in the first line and the rest is the details. Okay, here is details. Here is topic. And the same here, you can find details. And here is the topic. And right here, you can find the topic right here, and the rest is details. Okay, in this actually last reading passage, let us read together and try to answer the question that follow. In some societies, women overeat to become plump because large women are considered beautiful, while skinny women are regarded as unattractive. A woman's plumpness is also an indication of her family's wealth. In other societies, by contrast, a fat person is considered unattractive, so men and women eat little and try to remain slim. In many parts of the world, people lie in the sun for hours to darken their skin, while in other places, light, soft skin is seen as attractive. People with the gray hair often dye it back, whereas those with naturally dark hair often changes color to blonde or purple. Let us answer the following question. The most appropriate topic for this paragraph is skin change, hair color, different views about body shape, and family health. So here in the beginning they talked about the body shape and then they talk about the skins, right here. So they talk about what? They talk about different views about body shape. Okay? The best main idea of the paragraph is that people with the gray hair often dye it with black. Women plumpness is also an indication of wealth. People lie in the sun to darken their skin. People have different attitudes about their bodies. And number B covers the whole. A, B, and C. D, it covers the whole points. Why do women eat little in women and men and women eat little in some societies? To remain slim, to become plump, because they are poor, to save some money, actually to remain slim. Finally, we have number 4 and we have number 5 and 6. I will do number 5. I will leave number 4 and 6 for you, and you can do it by yourself at home. Please do it by yourself. Read and study them and answer them. Okay, I want you to rely on yourself sometimes. Okay, because I used to speak almost 99%, so I will leave you for percentage for you to do it by yourself. Do not be lazy. Go now and answer them, okay? The word in paragraph that does a close in meaning to the word thin is plump, skinny, blonde, and attractive. The word was skinny. So by the end of this class, I want to remind you that the final test is similar to the questions we have here. So please study them very well. Try to understand them. Try to read them, to understand the meanings of the vocabularies. If you do so, you will get a high score in the final test. For now, I want also to remind you to do these exercises by yourself now. Thank you so much for listening. Wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.